I swear to you.
Y'all already know it's Jay Williams. Let's live life once again. So today we're going to talk about prison myths, man. A lot of y'all that haven't been, don't go. It's nothing like the brochure. For guys that might be going, I'm going to give y'all a little insight, man. There's a lot of things, a lot of misconceptions out here as far as what people think and believe. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. Number one, people say to establish yourself, as soon as you get there, you walk up and hit the biggest guy, just rock his ass, just try to knock him out. No, do not do that. You are gonna get hurt really bad. Somebody is gonna beat the piss out of you. You're gonna get stomped, you're gonna get crushed, you're gonna get broken. And you're not gonna be remembered for being the guy that walked up and hit the biggest guy in there. You're gonna be remembered for getting your ass beat in front of everybody. That is a no-no. If you're scared, get a dog. If you're scared, don't get locked up. Stay out of prison. The next thing is, everybody has to fight. You're gonna have to fight if you get locked up. Not necessarily true. I know guys that did their whole bid without so much as having a single fight. They were just chill, relaxed, calm. They minded their business. You know, they ducked and dodged. Of course, there may have been times where they let somebody talk to them a way they shouldn't, or they were disrespected, but I guess they chose that route over, you know, fisting up and having to fight with somebody. So no, it's not guaranteed you're gonna have to fight. Will you get in a fight? It's a good possibility, but it's not 100% set in stone that you're gonna get in a fight while locked up. That's more along the lines of, for guys like me personally, this isn't boasting, I didn't do well with disrespect. You're not gonna talk to me any type of way. You're not gonna take anything from me. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something, I've always been like that. I started doing time when I was young. I was still a kid when I first got locked up. And then it just, you know, continued going on through life. So of course, by the time I made it to prison, jail, whatever, you know, scenario you want to put me in, I wasn't one of the guys that would just stand for anything. I bid it different. Bid it meaning, you know, being locked up in the way I move. My whole way of moving was, it was a convict ways of moving. So I had to fight. You know, I fought quite frequently. And as the years progressed, I found ways to, you know, humble myself. And that doesn't mean letting people disrespect me, but I found that in, you know, actually being a man, acting like a man, carrying myself as a man, I ran into a lot less problems. So that answers that question. No, you're not going to have to fight. You might, but it's not 100%. Another huge misconception, and let's get this one out there because this one irritates the hell out of me. People seem to think that everybody in prison is gay, or that if you go to prison, you know, you're gay and everybody's just in there humping each other and doing this and doing that. Hell to the no. No, no, no. There are a lot of gay guys in prison. If you're a transsexual out here on the streets, you know, a guy that was, you know, born a man but, you know, identifies as a female, and you get locked up, you're going to prison with all the men. I've seen, you know, gay dudes with tits. I mean, big ass titties. I've seen dudes that got butt implants, you know, and they're mixed right in. And then you've got your guys that, you know, that are gay, that's what they prefer, which there's nothing wrong with that, to each his own. But that's not everybody. I know guys that have been down 30, 40 years. They're not gay. So it's not one of those things, well, I'm locked up, blah, 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 so I ain't got no other options. No, 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 no. Hell to the no. If you're gay, you're gay. Prison cannot make you gay. That's something that's in you from the beginning, and you're looking for a way to come out. You're looking for a reason to justify it or say, well, oh, here I am now. No, that was always you. Not everyone in prison is gay. That's a fact. I would say maybe, I mean, 1 out of 100, if that. Now, you do have some dudes that are undercover, man. I had a couple dudes, man, I'm not gonna, you know, put no names out there, but dudes I used to rock with that I would find out, hey, they're messing with the boy, you know what I mean? on the slide. Now I gotta, cut this dude off because you are who you hang around with. You're labeled according to who you identify with. If you run with, a bunch of weak dudes, people are gonna look at you as you're weak. If you run with a gang, you're gonna be, classified as a gang member. So if one of my homeboys I find out all of a sudden is gay, or is messing with a homosexual, as much as I hate to do it, I might really rock with dude. He might really be a good friend of mine. But once I find that out, I have no choice but to cut him off. 100%. There's no more talking. We pass each other. There's no nodding. There's no coming to my cell, ask for nothing. We're not mealing together. We're not lifting weights together. We're not doing none of that. You know what I mean? I wasn't rude to the gay dudes, by no means. In the beginning, yeah, I might have been. That's because I didn't understand. You know what I mean? I guess I was a little homophobic. But as the years rolled by, it's part of prison. It's normal. But to answer the question, is everybody gay? Are all the men in there messing with each other? Hell no. Hell to the no. I was gone 10 years. And not once did this shit ever even cross my mind. Because as I've said a bunch of times already, I'm not gay. The next thing they always say is, well, you go into prison, you go into jail, they have to feed you. Yeah, they have to feed you. But there's times they don't. I remember being in the hole and having an issue with the guard. And the guard disliked me so much that we were up Greensville. He put me on upper 5, which was a empty tier at the time, all by myself. Just because he didn't want to deal with me, didn't want to see me. And I remember one day the food cart, I could see out the edge of the door, just rolled right past my tier. It never even rung me my dinner. And that happened, a bunch of different times. Your ass oversleeps. They're not going to come wake you up and say, hey, come on, let's roll, it's chow time. They'll make the food available, but there's always that opportunity or that chance that you can miss it. But to answer the question, they have to feed you? To a sense, yeah, they're supposed to feed you. But if you get on the wrong side of the wrong guard, he'll let your ass starve. Or make sure you get smaller portions than you're supposed to. If he's the one bringing the tray to your cell, and you're locked down, he'll make sure you get the tray with the least amount of food on it. All right, coming home early. And this is a huge, debatable topic. A lot of guys get in with all this time and they spend their entire bid fighting their case. Fighting their case meaning going back and forth to courts, putting in, different habeas corpuses and appeals, and before you know it, they're home. I've seen 2 guys in 10 years. 2 guys go home on appeal. 2. I've seen a couple guys that were actually innocent get released. One of them had done 27 years. A guy by the last name of Hainsworth. Check him out. 27 years before he was released. There was another guy in my pod that did right at 6 years before he was released. They went home early because, they were wrongfully convicted. And like I said, a couple guys I've seen personally go home on an appeal. They messed up on their case. New evidence came up. Something else happened. And these guys were actually guilty. You know what I mean? But they pushed it. They found a loophole. Or y'all messed up on the search warrant. Or y'all messed up on this. Or the victim's, testimony didn't, line up with this person. And people were lying. And I've seen people go home like that. But for the most part, once they sentence you, your ass is done. You're there until that release date rolls around. There's no, they always, every year we hear, oh, 65% is coming back, 65%. So everybody starts thinking they're going to get out early. I heard that every year. We call it inmate.com. That's what it is when a rumor gets started and it just goes viral throughout the prison. Everybody's saying it. But for the most part, you're not coming home early. Don't get on the phone telling your kids, well, daddy might be home soon. Something new came up, daddy might be home soon. Don't do that. Don't install false hope in people or drag women on and lie to them and tell them, oh, I'm getting out early, just ride with me, another year, 2 years, couple months. You're not. There's a 99.9% chance that you're not getting out. I'd say that's 99.99999% chance that you're not coming home early. Once the judge bangs that gavel, bang, guilty, and sends your ass, you're done. That's it. It's curtains. You're not getting out, man. All right. People have this misconception. They always say that, You know, they think prison's rougher than jail. Maybe in some states. Here in Virginia, prison's rough. I mean, it's prison. It's not meant to be fun. It's not meant to be entertaining. It's a form of punishment. But to be honest, our jails out here go so hard that dudes they can't wait to get to prison. Because in jail, they're fighting, I mean, 7 days a week. It's a non-stop thing in jail. Fight, fight, fight. You got all these stressors in jail that you don't have in prison. You're going back and forth to court. You're fighting your case. You're trying to come up with money to pay this lawyer. At the jail phase, you still got a girl. She's not answering the phone. People aren't sending you money. You're just now, you know, adapting to being locked up. You may be a drug addict who's detoxing, an alcoholic who's going through withdrawals. So you're dealing with a lot of different emotions in jail. A lot of different people in jail. By the time you get to prison, you know, for the most part, guys have settled down. They now know how much time they have. They now know what they're facing. They know that if they fuck up, it's going to change their release date. So they sort of calm down. Now, you're more likely to get killed in prison than you are in jail. If you get, you know, if you get killed in jail, a lot of times it's going to be because you got stomped out or somebody hit you with a little makeshift razor and hit an artery or a vein or something. Or you know, it's been a lot of situations where people kill themselves. But in prison, the difference between that and jail is that they're pushing that steel in there. When I mean that steel, I mean them knives. So a situation that you might, you know, be able to fight when it comes to in jail and use your fist, in prison you run across a guy who's got, you know, a life sentence, who's not trying to hear nothing you're talking about, and that fighting goes right out the window. You know what I mean? He's just gonna start poking holes in you, trying to cut your fucking head off. But to sum that up, which is worse, prison or jail? On a death aspect, prison. On a day-to-day life aspect, jail. You stay locked down. Most of these guards are uneducated, unqualified, don't have much training. They're lazy. A lot of them are just street dudes or street chicks. Then you get to prison where it's more uniform. There's more, how would you put it? There's more structure, you know, and you're dealing with a different type of people. Everybody, for the most part, just tries to fall back, relax, and do their bid. That's here in the state of Virginia. That I know for a fact. And the last thing we're going to touch on real quick is schooling. People say, why waste your time in school, in prison, or jail when it's you don't want to go to an employer with a certificate that's got the jail on it. That's not true. All my trades that I acquired while I was locked up, I'm certified. And it's through Southside Community College. That's who runs the DOC here, you know, runs along with DOC here in the state of Virginia. They've partnered up. That's who you do your schooling through. Now the trades are done through individuals that are licensed, you know, in that trade, and they're, you know, licensed to teach. Like with my plumbing license, my electrical, all these different licenses I acquired while I was locked up. Nowhere on it does it say anything about the prison system. You know, it's just a straight certificate or license like it would be out here on the street. Whatever school you went to out here on the street is what's going to be on that piece of paper. They're going to certify you. They're going to give you your number. They're going to do all that. They're going to log you in the system. That's the same thing for prison. So if you do decide, you know, that you're one of these assholes who don't like to stay free and you're gonna fuck your life up and go to prison, get in school. Pick up something while you're in there that you can transfer out here. Use your time wisely. You know, don't spend your time just jerking off, causing trouble, and, you know what I mean, running around like life is a game. If you do, you're going to go back. Use what they have to offer. A lot of compounds have different schools. And when I mean different options. You can go to barber school. You can do, you know, upholstery, cabinet making. I mean, the list is just, it's endless. You know, horticulture. There's a lot of options that they do give you. Because believe it or not, they don't want to see you come back. They want to see you succeed. That's why they offer these things. That's why these programs are in place. So that you can get in there, maybe pick up on something you never had in your life, and transfer it out here to the real world. And when you come out, instead of selling drugs or robbing or stealing or doing whatever you were doing, maybe now you can fall into the electrical field, or you can become a plumber. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be, pick something up, because the school that's available is good. It's good to have. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key. You want to utilize that while you're in there. So look, that was just myth time, man. Just want to take a couple seconds, kick it with y'all, just shoot the shit. You know, talk about some do's and don'ts, break down some of the myths for y'all. I'm gonna do this again here soon, man. I like the way it felt. It's always good to educate, man. And like I said, don't go to prison, please. There's nothing nice about it. You know, I'm never glorified. I'll never sit here and, you know, ha kiki and laugh like it was just a good old time and it's everything you want to do. It's nothing you want to do. Love life. Love your family. And you already know what it is, man. This is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, until next time, man, salute.
On my own since I was just a kid, I swear to you.